Hi, Chris Pratt, Technical Sales Leader for IBM in Canada.
And I'm Costa Macropoulos, Technical Sales Specialist for IBM Canada.
So, Costa, today I want to talk to you about this thing we call the hybrid multi-cloud, right? I know that I think everybody understands as we go forward, we're going to need stuff that's within our environments and stuff from outside, data that we've got and data that we need to get in terms of and therefore the requirement for this thing called a hybrid cloud, right? On-premises, off-premises. And in fact, the requirement for a multi-cloud, because one cloud or two clouds is probably not going to do it. But the one thing I wanted to ask you was, at the end of the day, the cloud still is a physical entity, right? Stuff still physically exists. And storage, and if you start to think about putting workloads across these environments, storage isn't necessarily that simple, is it?
No, it's not. Across different cloud environments, there are different use cases, different tools to manage and optimize storage. So really the idea with creating storage for a hybrid multi-cloud environment is to try and keep those same usability features, same efficiency features, and same user interaction across different platforms.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it, because if I think about it, there are kind of some basic requirements. Whether the storage is stuff you buy and have on premises, or it's stuff you rent or borrow or use in the cloud, you still need to optimize it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always the concept of I need a certain amount of capacity, a certain amount of performance. But the idea is to, like you mentioned, optimize that performance, optimize that capacity, and leveraging the tools that IBM has in our products like Spectrum Virtualize allows us to take those same concepts and apply them across multiple clouds.
So in terms of optimize, you're talking about the amount of storage you use as well as the performance?
Absolutely. So we talk about things like data reduction technologies, space-efficient snapshotting, AI-infused auto-tiering, all those technologies.
Okay, slowly. What is AI-infused tiering? Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, if you remember, back a few years ago, auto-tiering basically allowed customers to match the business value of the data with the cost of the storage it was associated with. And that concept didn't really apply in the cloud. So now what we have is, as customers get used to the on-prem auto-tiering, they want to leverage those same functionalities on their cloud environments as well.
Well, yeah, because the assumption that because it's in the cloud, it's cheap is not necessarily a good one.
Not necessarily, no.
And in fact, I think most of us have figured out that it's fairly easy to get something into the cloud. With some providers, when you take it out, you pay, which is not a problem. You're going to pay for the service you're going to get, but the ability to optimize it across it. And is that for block storage, for file storage? What types of storage?
It's for all kinds of storage. I have customers already in a hybrid multi-cloud environment leveraging both block and object storage, both on-prem and in multi-cloud environment.
Which leads me to my next question. Access methods, I think we used to call them in the old days, but having storage in the cloud and having it on premises, is there a way to seamlessly access it wherever it is, irrespective of what it is?
Yeah, that is one of the major unique differentiators with IBM, Spectrum Virtualize in particular, is the ability to take the data in place and migrate it or extend it off-prem, whether it's to a public cloud or across multiple clouds, regardless of the type of storage that you're accessing.
So that can make it entirely transparent to the user, to the application, where it is?
Absolutely. Transparent and also easy to implement.
And is it the same front end and back end? Back end obviously is different, but let me give you a simple analogy, right? If I take a package to a courier, depending on how much I'm prepared to pay will determine how quickly it comes out the other end. They may use a plane, a truck, or a carrier pigeon, I don't know, but the input is the same, and the destination is where I want it to go. It's just how much I'm prepared to pay determines the service
Absolutely,
level.
it's the same case here, yes.
Okay, and obviously, protection is a requirement. Just because you store something in the cloud doesn't mean it's going to be secure and cyber resilient and all of that. What aspects of the IBM portfolio do you think about that?
Absolutely. That is a huge use case that we're seeing in today's marketplace. I personally have customers that, for example, may be using a public cloud for their email, for example, but that email server isn't backed up in the cloud.
So are you saying they're using storage in the cloud for their own email, or they're using software as a service type email?
Software as a service type email in the cloud, and they need a way to protect it off that cloud premise. So we have solutions in place that will allow them to leverage the IBM cloud with IBM storage, interfacing with it to do both backup and archive.
So you're saying, just because I use an email service in the cloud, it doesn't mean it's backed up.
Absolutely, yeah. Read the fine print.
There, I think exactly, read the fine print, which most of us scroll down to hit I accept.
Yeah,
right?
like you mentioned, you know, there are different options. So make sure you, as customers, you know what you're getting in the cloud, because there are a myriad of options, and it can be confusing at times.
So, you know, maybe this is a leading the witness type question, but what I'm hearing you say is when it comes to optimizing it and to accessing it across all the different types of places it can be stored, IBM has got a way to do that, but at the same time providing the resiliency and protecting the data.
Absolutely, yeah. Regardless of the use case, whether the use case is optimizing the cloud storage that's out there, whether it's extending your data center footprint to the cloud, protecting your data in the cloud.
And I mean, assuming bandwidth was not an issue, because I mean, the laws of physics are just that. They're not the suggestions of physics. It takes time to move things. Would it be practical to back up data that's in the cloud on premises, or data that's on premises in the cloud, and reverse those things and access it from anywhere?
Absolutely, yeah, particularly in the use case of backup. I have a customer right now that their on-premise backups are for operational purposes only. 14 days of on-premises backup, and everything else goes to the IBM cloud, leveraging IBM Cloud Object Storage. It allows the customer both the efficiency of quick restores on-prem, and then the archival purposes, and the ability, since bandwidth is an issue, to take your time in sending the data to the cloud.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it also gives you some flexibility. I mean, if you were to back up your data from the cloud on premises, and then you decided you had another cloud provider you preferred, or the cloud provider you're using changed their T's and C's, you could...
Yeah, data mobility and agility is key with a hybrid multi-cloud environment.
And I'm assuming when we say multi-cloud, we're talking about all the usual suspects.
Absolutely, right? Yes.
You know, the Amazons and the Googles and the IBMs
and
whoever
Azures,
else comes along.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have many other questions. And anything else you want to make a case for around hybrid multi-cloud and
no,
IBM
just
storage?
again, the unique differentiators with IBM storage, IBM Spectrum Virtualize can abstract other storage vendors' layers from the environment. The ability to take that one common interface and apply it both on-prem and across multiple clouds really is that key differentiator for us.
Thank you very much. Well, again, it's Chris Pratt from IBM in Canada. And
thank you. And Costa Macropolis from IBM Canada.